Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day, great afternoon, great night. Just a great time in general when you're watching this. Today's video, I wanted to talk about, just kind of the different forms of communication we share with people, whether intimate, friendship, or, just communication in general. So anything from texting, calling, and writing. I am not going to really count email, but you can kind of count email and writing because it's kind of the same if you're not exactly a writer and a typer, but if you're still sending a letter, whether it be electronic or physical, it's basically the same thing. I wanted to comment on not only like how each of them even kind of feel, what can happen with engaging in each of them, and just like my thoughts on each of them is what I'm saying. So I used to be a pretty big texter. I still kind of am a texter when I like to plan things. Otherwise, I would prefer to call legitimately. Like, some of my friends will know that I am not really that great with getting random calls. That's actually something I really suck at. Like, if you just call me out of the blue, I will probably answer the phone like a dick. It's not anything you did, it's just the only time I've really ever gotten random calls was either from a job, which, I had to be, of course, professional with, or I've gotten it from a family member who was fucking yelling at me about something. So I tend to just be kind of curt when I'm calling. If we're really looking at texting versus calling, just kind of cutting out writing for a second, realistically, I prefer to call because with texting, oftentimes there will be miscommunication, whether or not it's a little bit or a lot. There just will be miscommunication. You're going to, at some point in a conversation, misunderstand or misspeak, and it may not be an issue, but it could be. It could be a really big issue depending on how you misspoke. You could say that's technically a thing that can happen with writing a letter or an email because both of those are words written on a page. You don't have the body language or vocal context and stuff like that. But as someone like myself, I very much feel like even when I'm messaging, I'm unfortunately pretty monotone, but sometimes I very much do feel like I put more energy into text and or writing, but that's just because I am a writer. But to be really honest, I still don't even like texting even though I'm a writer, because I feel like it's almost like a waste that I'm writing such a big text or even such an informed text. Like, I think that's honestly one of the additive reasons on why I'm not that much of an arguer anymore, because I just don't want to spend the extra fucking energy to really prove a point unless I really feel like I have to. Otherwise, it feels like I'm just expending shit I don't have to expend. Now, when I'm calling someone, I prefer that so much more because you will not fuck up, hearing them. Because you can also very quickly, versus a text, clarify that instead of them reading it and having an opportunity to misunderstand you, get mad, not talk to you for a while, because there's definitely been some texts I've sent and some I've received where I have put people in the position where they're like, I need to take a bit, not respond to you, and we need some space. Then I've had other people that have sent me shit where I'm like, okay, I see what you said, I totally understand it and respect it, or it's piss me off. And I am just like, hey, I'm not going to engage with that person. I'm just gonna, leave them alone for a bit and either reach back out when I feel like I am better about the situation and can handle a conversation about the situation. Yeah, handle a conversation about the situation with them, then I will do that. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to leave it alone until they say something. Because oftentimes I find that whether it be vocal or over text, if you ask people to clarify shit, they feel like you are attacking them by either calling them stupid because you can't understand what they said and they feel like they were very clear, or they just are triggered that you are asking them to explain something more. And I find that to be really interesting because as someone who has worked and engaged with older people and kids, it is so much easier to ask them and ask an older person versus seemingly our generation with the fucking phones to explain something without them getting pissy. You know, you see how that's really ridiculous how we can the young and the old can communicate better than the fucking middle-aged people. It's really stupid. We're supposed to be the quote-unquote tech whizzes, but we're not really that techy in a lot of ways. Writing, though, I feel very different about. I'm not really going to talk about writing an email because I think writing an email is honestly just because 9 times out of 10, you're only really writing an email to a business associate or employer. So that's all just going to be jargon. That's not really what I'm going to be talking about because no one really just emails anymore that I know of. With writing a letter to someone, you get to, no matter if it's in pen or whatever, you get to put your fuck-ups on that page, leave them on that page, maybe you white them out, whatever. They get to see how much effort you put into writing something. Maybe they get it, maybe they don't. I'll be one to open up that I wrote someone at one point a 10-page paper, like handwritten, not single space, college ruled, all because I wanted to put my thoughts to paper. And that's how I feel like I communicate really best, is through my writing. Text and writing don't really correlate. And like I was saying, that's why texting upsets me so much and why I would prefer to just talk about it. You can see how writing a letter can also be an art form as well compared to writing someone some janky ass text. Anyone can write a text, anyone can copy and paste some shit off the internet. I mean, same thing with a letter. But honestly, if you printed a letter and sent it to me, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god. Even if the words were the most beautiful fucking thing on there, the only thing I could give for my partner writing me a letter like that is if they had a disability where they couldn't write on paper. That's it. Otherwise, you know, writing it physically, I would be like, now that's heartfelt emotions, and you know, maybe there's doodles on it. Fuck, even if it's one page and it is just a heartfelt page, that's going to be so much more emotional. That's going to be so much more emotional for me versus someone texting me something, writing me an email. I mean, shit, even telling it to me, it's just because I can see the emotion on the page. I can also, you know, see the emotion on the person. But there's just something, I think it's also because it's old-fashioned, that's why I like it so much, writing on the page, because very oftentimes that's one of the kind of sort of reasons I don't end up finishing books, is because I write all my ideas on paper and then I'm like, I don't want to put that onto my computer. I have 34 or 64, it could even be more pages of just a doc of old notes I had that I tried to transfer from old notebooks onto Google Docs. All 12 or 11 sized letters. It's small font, and still I fill up that much pages. You think I can just easily go back through that shit and find my old information, old ideas? Maybe. But it would take me forever, and honestly, all it would make me want to do is reorganize my trash notes, which is what they are. And so that's why I just end up taking a lot of the things and just leaving them on the page. But I'm trying to work into getting my writings from page to computer. That's all really my thoughts on that I had for today. I really want to become more of a calling person, and I'm trying to work through that. I also think other people need to work through that. I get you might be busy and or just really prefer text. Not all of us do, at least anymore, and it would be super cool if we also could just move to a calling generation kind of anyways, because realistically the reason why we prefer texting more than calling is because all of us have spent years hiding shit from our parents, and that's why we're more about texting than we are about calling. I don't have anything to hide. I don't care. You shouldn't have anything to hide either. We're all grown adults now. That's my thoughts. That's really all I had for today. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, afternoon, night. Peace, guys.